I hope you have a good weekend, too.
Thank you. Blessings.
Thanks. So welcome, everybody, to the second hour of Mindshifters Radio. Today is Friday. What a fast week. What a fast month. September the 29th, 2023. When we come back on Monday, we will actually be in October. Anyway, 563-999-3581 and press 1, and that will put you into queue to talk to us. And I'll talk for a bit while Michael's trying to get Nene on the phone. She wanted to check in for just a moment. Say it again. Right. Oh, okay. Michael was just saying that, yesterday they did the worksheet with a lady on the Hear My Voice book club, and that it was absolutely awesome. And so we appreciate every opportunity we have to share this work with someone and with you, and hope you're sharing it with others. And we're here to support you. And after Michael gets Nene on, then we're also expecting Terry and Dan to call back in to complete the conversation from yesterday. Some fabulous conversations going on. And we would like for you to be part of it too. So if you have a question or a comment, then we would ask you to press 1, and that puts you in the queue. So we'll give him just a moment to dial in. And I was trying to think if there was anything new on the website that we've added. As soon as I get the recording for the book club for yesterday, we'll put that on the website. And we have got, and we'll put the interview that Michael did with Jill from the other day. We'll have that up on the website when we get that back from her. We don't have it yet. And so lots of information to listen to and to be part of. So we'll give him just a minute and see if he can get a hold of Nene. And I know she is doing a meditation in Spanish tomorrow, and we do have that link. If you go to our website, and let's see, where did I put it? If you click on Spanish up in the top, we've actually got so many things that have been translated into Spanish. A lot of them have been done by Nene. But if you go to that website and then you scroll down, you'll see it says Meditation by Nene. And she does the second Tuesday of each month in English, a meditation. And then the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, she does it in Spanish. And this coming Saturday, she's doing a Shabbat meditation, and it is going to be in Spanish, but it is going to be at 12:30 our time. And so Michael's working to get her on the line so she can tell us about that. And I see he is on, but he's probably trying to connect her in. So we'll give him just a minute. But if you want to be part of that, then go to the website, and like I said, click on Spanish and scroll down. And the Zoom links are on there, so you can be part of those. And she does phenomenal work. I remember when she and Michael, the audience was kind of split, half English, half Spanish, and Michael had a whiteboard on one side of the room, and she had a whiteboard on the other side of the room. And so we had two audiences, and each one was teaching, and it was really awesome. Were you able to get
She is with us.
Hi, Nene.
The young lady is with us. Welcome,
about...
Nene.
Hi, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Here, Nene Ortega. Very excited to announce tomorrow, Saturday, the September the 30th, we're going to have a Shabbat meditation. It's in Spanish. And the theme is the purpose in your life, which is very different from the Aramaic point of view. And we're going to also talk about the Ikigai, the Japanese purpose of life idea. So it's going to be very awesome.
Sweet. Living on purpose. And Shabbat, for those who are not familiar with that word is the Aramaic word that's been translated as forgiveness. And so what Nene is doing is a forgiveness meditation in English, right? And when exactly is it?
Tomorrow, Saturday, September the 30th. It's via Zoom. It's a free session, and it's at 12:30 Eastern time, meaning Miami time, 12:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Now, Nene, tomorrow, though, is Spanish, correct?
It's in Spanish tomorrow, yes.
And I've got the Zoom link on the website.
Yeah. The Zoom link is in the website, and if anybody needs to talk to me or has needs more information, it's 954-607-9539. You can either text me or WhatsApp me or call. And I find it tomorrow, I'm very excited about tomorrow because in the Aramaic teachings, I remember, Michael, the purpose, the class that you gave us on purpose is the first for everybody. There's one main purpose, is to develop strong, viable spiritual body, correct?
That's it. That's primary, and then comes secondary, so it'll be cool to see you focusing on that. Do you have an English session scheduled on the same topic?
It's going to be in October. I'll tell you exactly. In October the 10th, which is it's a Tuesday, October the 10th, 8 p.m. in English.
8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday,
Eastern
October
time,
10th.
always Miami time. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
And I will forward the link as soon as I have it, and also the flyer, the poster.
Nene, can you not continue to use the same Zoom link each month? Like you could, the one that you used on September 12th, can you not use that one in October?
I guess I have to create, I know there's an option in Zoom that says it's a recurring event.
Right.
Should I just plug that, select that?
Yeah, that would, and actually if you go to your Zoom and open up meetings, it may still be showing there. And but let me know if it changes, because I put the same link for each month. But I can change that if it doesn't work for you.
Yeah, even if it's only once a month or twice a month, doesn't matter?
Once, twice,
Correct.
10 times,
you can
3
put
times
in
a day.
there like every second Saturday or second Tuesday or whatever.
Okay, sure. I'll email you if I have any other questions. Thank you. Yes, I thought about that. That would be very helpful. Yes, easier.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we'll be holding the space. Have a wonderful class tomorrow.
Thank you.
And again
Thank
on
you
the
very
10th.
much.
All right, blessings. Yeah. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. So thank you, Miss Nene, for delivering this work to the Spanish community. Actually, Nene did a lot of the translation work that is on our Spanish page. And so if you know anybody who speaks Spanish, we've got a whole section on the website just for them to take these tools and put them to work. There's several videos, and so let folks know who speak Spanish. I wish I spoke Spanish. Actually, several years ago, we went to Costa Rica, and we had set up, we were going to spend a week in a center where they did an immersion Spanish class. And unfortunately, the fellow who was sponsoring us says, "Oh, I can do that for you. You don't need to do that." And so we never learned any Spanish. That week we canceled and went with our sponsor instead, and that just did not work out. I remember when the people we were going to do the study with, the immersion study, said, "Well, what level is your Spanish? How much Spanish do you know?" And I said, "Well, the most I know about Spanish is C." And they said, "Well, that's not Spanish, that's French." I said, "Yeah, that's what I said." So we were starting from scratch, but it didn't happen. In any event, delighted that you're here. I've been really enjoying the Inquisitive Minds the last couple of days, where we've been talking about quantum physics and how it all fits together with this work. And so my understanding is that Terry's going to be back with us. I'm not sure whether Dan is going to be back or not, but is Terry with us, Jeanie?
Well, Dan is on with, and so I've got his mic on. Terry has not dialed in yet.
Okay, cool. Well, let's say hello to Dan and see where your thinking has gone since yesterday, Dan. I really acknowledge the fact that you've sent us the picture of those 700 worksheets that you had completed. That's quite a stack, and the conclusions, the insights you've been having, you've been keeping me posted on. It's pretty awesome. So welcome. Are you muted,
Thanks.
Dan?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. We got you now.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I hadn't at least intentionally dialed in. I was just going to listen, but
Oh,
it's good to be here, and yeah.
well, with the intense work you've been doing, any questions at this point about any aspect of our conversation yesterday or the worksheet, the whole body of work? Anything that we can help clarify?
And I seem to forget them, but one that was in my mind, I was doing some worksheets this morning, and when it talks about when you state the goal that you have for the person or place or thing or whatever the case is, and it talks about the constructive result and state in positive words. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yep. Step 3, where you're identifying the goal.
So I was thrown off a little bit about stating in positive words, because a lot of my the goal is just want them to stop or get away from me or leave me alone, or is that can you give me a little insight on what
I sure can.
positive there?
Yeah, you're now getting into some of the principles from our Laws of Living intensive, and in Laws of Living we point out a thing that's called regulatory speech. And regulatory speech is a speech that, one, regulates cellular chemistry on the level where we believe in chemistry. It regulates physiology. It regulates emotion. It regulates literally the constructs, the perceptions our mind construct, and it's what sets up the energy field that brings about results in our lives. So language is really, really important. In fact, it's so important, the man Yeshua 2,000 years ago said the power of life and death is in our words. So if I say to you, Dan, don't think about the color of your car, what happens?
I think about the color of my car.
Dan, never, ever, ever, never think about the color of your car. What moves in your mind? Something about the color of your car, right?
Right, and it's kind of like, oh man, I'm going to be thinking about this forever.
So it doesn't matter how many nots or don'ts I put in front of it. The body of the statement is about the color of your car, and that's what's going, because the mind works and the world works by resonance, that's what's going to resonate in you. So if I say, I don't ever want them to hit me again, what's the body of the statement? What's the energetic pattern that I'm sending out to the world? Hey, world, anybody around that knows how to hit me again? Come on in. I'm asking for it.
Right.
So, and most of our language, it's a whole retraining program for the mind, because most of our language is about what we don't want. Oh, I don't want anybody who'll ever abuse me again. Oh, I never want to be in a relationship. Oh, I don't want one of those people who cheats people. No, I never want. And the more we focus on what we don't want, because we're creators and it's the body of the thought that sets up the resonance, the more we create what we don't want. We're contributing. Whereas Yeshua talked about it 2,000 years ago. He talked about a house divided against itself. Most people don't even know that they're creators and don't know that they're bringing into their lives exactly what keeps happening to them again and again and again. So, and it took me some time. If you look back at some earlier worksheets, that's not the language in the worksheet. It took me some time to understand as I worked with it that when I try to cancel a goal for what I don't want, I'm not impacting my mind, my physiology, my creative process of the world the way I really want to, I've got to start looking at what's the ideal outcome? What is the goal that I hold? What is it that I really want here? Oh, as opposed to, I don't want to be in a relationship with anybody who'll abuse me again. I want to be in a relationship where it's a loving, gentle, sweet interaction. Now I've got something I can work with.
And that's even for the initial goal that we end up canceling.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But that's actually a question I'd had for quite a while, and I just, would forget every time I'd come on the show or talk to you.
There's a neat program out there called Evernote. There's a free version of it you can put on your phone. Everything like that, like questions like that, bang, it goes into Evernote for me so that I've got a record of where I'm going with it. So you can, open file, and anytime a question comes up, put it in, and then when the opportunity comes to ask a question, open Evernote, and there it is. Well, yeah. Somebody once said the shortest pencil is better than the longest memory. So
I got a lot of notes and papers around, but they're just everywhere.
Right. So that's why Evernote's really handy, because it eradicates a lot of the paper. And recognizing that words are the key to our creative process, and that goals, generally speaking, are formed through words, what we want to do is select words that are going to show us the deepest hidden parts of our own minds. And remember the idea of a tuning fork. So I have a middle C tuning fork. I hit it really hard on the desk, and that puppy starts to vibrate. And I put it near a second middle C tuning fork. And what happens to that second tuning fork? It starts to vibrate. It responds.
Yeah.
The mind works by exactly the same principle. Don't think about the color of your car, takes you to the color of your car. Don't ever abuse me again, takes you into your file on abuse. Now, when I hear people say, well, I never want to be in one of those kind of love relationships where there's abuse again and I get beat up, and oh man, I sure don't want that again. What that person just told me with that language is that in their file on love relationships, there's abuse. So that's the file that needs to be opened.
The abuse or the love relationship?
The file on love relationships where the abuse is contained. I want to open that file. And so I want to look for the goal, the original goal, the thing that set the whole deal up in the beginning was I want loving, gentle, respectful relationships. And of course, many people say, well, okay, so now I've got this beautiful, perfect goal. I want loving, gentle, respectful relationships. And now, Michael Ryce, you're telling me to cancel my need for it? That's crazy. That's backward. And I can remember for years thinking that, but watching how it worked with people. And it literally took me, Dan, 35 years of working with this full-time to understand why you do such a perfectly ridiculous thing as cancel a perfectly good goal. Like, why would I do that? And the reason is not because I don't want the goal, not because I wouldn't like to have the goal accomplished, but when I notice that every time I load that goal in my mind, the goal is a driver for what content is going to be active in the mind. Every time I load that goal in my mind, it resonates some sort of hostility or fear in me. So I'm canceling the goal so that I can open the hidden part of my mind that contains the hostility and fear in regard to that, and that I can clean that out. I can forgive that content. Now, once I've worked through that worksheet, it's perfectly fine. If that's still a desirable goal, it's perfectly fine to load that goal and go for it again. And if when I load that goal and I go for it, more hostility or fear comes up, there's my next worksheet on that topic. Otherwise, when I clear that hostility or fear out of that particular file in my mind, I'll just put the creative statement in, wonderful, sweet, healing relationships, and bingo. That's what I'll create, because there's nothing in me that goes against that creative process.
So it's kind of like having the goal resonate this hidden counteractive for, like, what I really want is to be loved and respected, but then I've got some hidden content that people don't love or respect me, and that gets resonated every time I am involved in the goal of being loved and respected, right? And that's why it's got to be canceled, because it's supporting and driving the distorted content about how it can't.
That's it. That's it, exactly. And oftentimes, especially in regard to relationships, those issues go right back to power person dynamics and power person issues, and the underlying, the thought disorder that goes with, why am I always being beat up in relationships? I'm such a nice guy. What's wrong with this picture? What's going on? Once you cancel that goal and start dropping into those deeper parts of the mind, what's at the root of that file on self is usually a power person message that's something like, I'm broken, I don't deserve it, I can never have it. And every time I say to myself, I want wondrous relationships, and it resonates, I don't deserve and I can't have wondrous relationships, then, if there's somebody out there who's in resonance with wondrous relationships and is attracted to me, they'll come into my space and they'll go, oh, wondrous relationships, you and I, all right, let's go for it. And then as the connection gets closer, the deeper resonance takes over, and you've just attracted somebody in who can help to teach you that you're broken and you don't deserve it. So that's going to tend to resonate in them, and this is what in our Healing Through Relationships workshop we call relationships based on matching bags of garbage. Most people's relationships, because my take is that because life abhors us killing ourselves and wants us to live, life is set up to show us what we're holding on to that doesn't belong in us. And so the purpose of life, much like a mind shifter, is to kick us right in the limitation, to show us what we're holding on to. So through resonance, we'll always find the perfect person who has the perfect matching bag of garbage. And the relationship that has the potential to be the most wondrous, sweetest, heavenly relationship is exactly the relationship with the same person that can take you to hell. If there's hell in you, that person's going to know how to do it. And if there's hell in you and they start doing whatever it is that brings the hell out in you and you've got forgiveness, then you'll remove that from your file on relationships. Now there's no longer a message going out that says, take me to hell. The relationship or the file now clean and clear of all of those thought disorders and power person dynamics is, hey, sweet, wondrous relationships, let's go for it. And the part of the relationship that was attracted through that sweet, wondrous energy now becomes manifest. And of course, each person in the relationship, because they're matching bags of garbage, it's never unilateral. Each person gets the opportunity to do that, to do the healing process. And so if the purpose of the relationship is, okay, I have garbage, you have garbage, we both know it, sooner or later, there's going to be a part of us that's going to want to say, the honeymoon is over. And that'll be when our garbage comes up. Instead of locking into the honeymoon is over, dear heart, let's make a commitment to do the next level of work. And that's where the commitment comes in the Healing Through Relationships workshop. And the last paragraph of that commitment is, if anything less than love comes up, and if it's in there, it's got to come up for healing. If anything less than love comes up, I'm going to hold us in my heart and listen. As we each learn to speak, experience, and be responsible for our own realities, I'm here for and with you, keeping communication open and keeping love conscious, active, and present as we heal and celebrate life together. So now there's the space for creating consciously after having looked at and healed the unconscious dynamics. So that's how the two fit together.
So and just like going with what you said about relationships, it's kind of like the most deeply held, I don't want to say ambitious, but our most deeply what we truly want, our goals that are closest into our heart, also has the power to resonate the most painful unconsciousness, right?
What will happen is that when we have that sweet, deep, wondrous desire for grand relationship, it opens our relationship file. Whatever's in there is going to tend to become manifest, going to come into expression. And so if I make the purpose of my relationships to heal when those things come up, then instead of making my brain's image of you out of my pain, being in relationship with someone, instead of making my brain's image of them out of my distorted pain content and thinking they're the problem, I'm going to apply forgiveness, collapse that projection, and because that trauma came up in the relationship, I get to drop into directly the deepest part of my own hurt and heal it, instead of project it into my brain's image of them and keep believing it's all their fault. By the age of 4 in this culture, the average person is already a card-carrying member of the one world universal religion of blame. It's all everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
And the purpose of the work is to change that, to shift that around.
So the relationships that I've told you about, I spoke on here about, that I've, been coming out of, or the relationship ended a few months ago.
Right.
That seemed like it was one of those matching bags of garbage, but had the potential to resonate, both of our sort of deepest issues. And all of this, and I get confused because I don't know if I'm just blaming her, but most of the communication she shared about me about this is that she was only open to hear that it's my fault and I'm a bad guy and everything's fine except that how screwed up I am and I need to fix it.
Of course, she's a card-carrying member of the one world religion of blame and has been since she was 4, or maybe even earlier. That's the state of the world. You will be very hard-pressed, my friend, to find someone who doesn't have that at the root of their reality structure, because that's the world mind.
But I'm the same way, but I'm willing to, because I remember a lot of times it's like I would want to discuss the dynamics between us and what was coming up. I get excited when issues would come up and it seemed like there was a solution or a way to go deeper, and then she'd go, no, I don't want to talk about this. It's you're screwed up and you need to go to therapy.
Yeah. So let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask a question. How does that message look like your life? Did you ever receive from your power person the message, you're screwed up and you better straighten out your act? I can just about, from the words you just said, your regulatory speech, I can just about guarantee that was a power person message. And so that's the next level. So in the context where that accusation's coming at you, and here you all are all excited to move forward with something wonderful, and somebody puts a pin in your bubble, burst your balloon. How does that look like your life? How did that look like interaction with power person? That's your next piece of healing. Can you bring active present love to what that conversation from her brings up in you? If you can, then through that relationship you'll heal. As you do that and demonstrate responsibility communication and ownership for what's going on, it might be the first time in her life that she's ever seen such a phenomenal thing happen. Because she too has power persons, and she too has been in a world with people who have matching bags of garbage, and that's what virtually everybody has had modeled with them all of their lives.
Yeah, when we were
so if I can't hold a space of love in me for that type of blame and accusation, then I have work to do. Do they have work to do too? Yeah. And could I just focus on their work and what's wrong with them? Yeah. And then I'm just mimicking and doing exactly the same thing as them. But can I stand in that space, and I'm talking to all of us, can I stand in that space and stay connected to my human life, to love, while that barrage is coming at me? And if I can't, that's my next worksheet, not hers.
That clarifies it, because that what would happen is, you know, even if I'm basically correct on my assessment, I would go into blame, and but it would be confusing because the blame would, well, she's so blaming. She blames everybody. She only wants to blame, and it's all focused on me blaming her for being blaming.
There you go. It's called smoke and mirrors. It's called an opportunity. It's called an opportunity to heal through your relationship. You know, when I first started doing relationship work over 40 years ago, the name of my workshop was Healing Your Relationships. And then I discovered that there is no such thing as a diseased relationship. Every relationship is a perfect creation. Every relationship is a perfect reflection of some part of our minds. And if we're willing through the interaction in those relationships to heal ourselves, then we'll heal. But if you're looking for the perfect person who will never bring up your power person dynamics, good luck. They don't exist in the world.
So if I'm
if they did, the unresolved energies that haven't come up in you yet and healed you would become the long-term degenerative disease that would cancel the thought, ultimately kill you.
Because there would be nothing, it wouldn't be rest for healing.
Yeah, disintegrative energy in tissue creates degeneration of tissue. Hostility and fear, messages like you're broken, the tissue they reside in. And, you know, there's really only one disease. They have all kinds of fancy names, but there's one disease, and that is an energy in a piece of tissue that doesn't belong in that tissue. And if that energy is in the big toe, somebody's going to come along and they're going to do a diagnosis. Break the word down, diagnose. An agnostic is someone who doesn't know, and a dyad is too. Diagnostic. You've got the big toe disease. They'll have a nice long Latin name for it, and they'll have a drug for it. If that same energy's in the kneecap, then you're going to have the kneecap disease. If it's in the liver, the lung, the heart, or the brain, you're going to have the liver, the lung, the heart, or the brain disease. And, you know, the more seemingly important the organ becomes, the more expensive the drug will become, and the longer the Latin name will become. But there's only one disease, and that's sin. Remember, the archery term in Aramaic, the word sin is an archery term that means off the mark. There's only one disease, and that's an energy somewhere in your tissue structure that doesn't belong there. What you want more than anything in the world is for someone to come and show you that and be able to stay present in your own body as conscious, active, present love, and through the interaction in that relationship, own and free yourself of that old addictive pattern based in hostility or fear and blame of them.
But even so, in this case, you know, the relationship is over. Like, we're not speaking to one another, we're not engaging, but that doesn't mean that I can still get my feeling through work, right?
It's not over. We're talking about it right now. It's still continuing.
I'll tell you something kind of funny that I think is, well, I'd like to hear your take on it. But so Katie, my ex-girlfriend, she also works at the same agency I work at.
Right.
And there was an agency-wide, you know, a work event. They got this big catering hall and this big party and food and games and music, and everyone had to go or use paid time off. So we all had to go, and, you know, there was like 200 people going, and, you know, she sent me a message saying, hey, are you going? Because I really don't want to see you, and so on and so forth. And anyway, I said, look, I have to go. We all have to go. I go into this event, and the only seat available is back to back with her seat 2 feet away.
Oh, isn't the universe awesome?
So
what a gift.
Resonance.
That's called resonance. That's it exactly. It's called life based in matching bags of garbage. And they're again, the same relationship that can take you right to hell in a heartbeat, show you the part of yourself with which you're torturing yourself, is exactly the same relationship that can take you right to heaven in a heartbeat. It becomes, which religion do you belong to? Do you belong to the one world universal religion of blame? Then whatever they resonate in you, you're going to put into your brain image of them. You're going to swear it's all about them, and the reason you're feeling what you're feeling is because of them, when in fact the reason you're feeling what you're feeling is because dis-ease energy is moving in your tissue structure, and you've learned to blame. And so literally those dis-ease energies, you use them to build your brain's image of that person. And they show up in your mind with your problem attached, and you swear it's got to be their problem. When you get two people doing that in a relationship, it's crazy time. If they pick up the commitment and start to use it, the game changes. And that starts with, I promise to trust you enough to treat you lovingly, gently, and with respect in my thoughts, my words, and my actions, whether I'm in your presence or not. If I can't do that with someone, guess who has a problem? I do, because there's some form of hostility or fear up and moving in me. Even though I've built my brain's image of them out of that which is moving in me, and I really believe that it's them, but the truth is, I'm the one who's feeling it, and if they're the one with the problem, why am I the one with the pain, the disturbance, and the upset?
So
obviously, if they were the one with the problem, they'd be the one with the pain. If I'm in pain and think it's their problem, maybe I have a problem and I don't know it because of my denial. And that's what the worksheet is about, is to uncover and clean that out of the mind.
So if I'm so something that would happen is that, we'd be in discussions and we'd both get triggered. It would be obvious. We'd both get emotionally escalated with all of our stuff coming up. And
right.
And but she would say things like, you make me feel so bad. Like it was like textbook of that.
Projection.
So then in my mind resonates, she is blaming, she does not take responsibility for her internal realities. But the fact is, that is what's coming up in me, so the reality of not taking responsibility for realities is in me. Is that correct?
You got it. That's it. And when I use the worksheet process, that structure in my mind, it's so detailed. I can see the color of her hair, her skin, her eyes, her shape. I can see all of that, and all of that trauma is in that picture in my mind. But where does the picture in my mind come from? It comes from my mind. We do not have eyes, peepholes, with which to see what's going on in the world. All the eye does is bring light energy and bring information in through light, and that light energy causes brain cells to fire, and my brain makes up literally the world that I see. The world that I see is a reflection of what's going on in my brain. It does not exist out there in any way, shape, or form as I see it. And if I recognize that and I apply forgiveness, then I get to collapse that world through forgiveness by canceling the goal that's driving my perceptual construct of blame, and I get to drop into the hidden part of my own mind. It took me 35 years to understand that single thought. Oh, that's how it works. Because the whole world's got it the other way around. Look, I can see how bad you are. Look at that. And look how bad you're making me feel. Excuse me? There's a story that I like to tell. Actually, it's one of Jeannie's favorite stories. And I'd always tell it, or I used to always tell it, in the Why Is This Happening to Me Again, where she'll be traveling. It's a story about the little old lady who loves movies. You like the story, right, Jeannie? She loves movies. She hears about this new movie coming to town. And she leaves home early, gets in the car. She's going to get to the theater early, so she gets her favorite front row seat. She's a little hard of hearing and doesn't see very well. So she gets caught in a traffic jam on the way to the theater and gets there late, and she gets the last seat in the theater. She's in the very back row, and she's behind this young couple that throughout the whole film is just laughing hysterically. And this little old lady's getting more frustrated by the minute, and finally she reaches over the seat and she kind of jams this girl in the shoulder with her fingers. Young lady, are you feeling hysterical? And the girl kind of turns around and looks at her and isn't sure what to say for her. And finally she says, well, he was feeling mine first. You can't feel anybody else's. If you're feeling it, you have a problem. But the mind is expert at making up pictures of other people that we want to hold responsible for what's moving inside of us. And nobody else can cause or be responsible for what's moving inside of you.
So that brings up another question, because you were talking about, the detail of picturing somebody and what their skin looks like and what their facial expression and all this stuff. And
right.
So can I put those in the section of the worksheet about who the trigger is? What I'm blaming a picture in my mind with I can see it now. Katie is sitting in front of this bookshelf. She's looking kind of sad, and I know what that means about me, and et cetera. So I've been wanting to put that.
Let me just offer that you know what your mind thinks that means to her, and that's your projection. But yes, that would be it. And certainly you could do that. That would be an effective step in moving into deeper and deeper levels of responsibility and giving up. I mean, for how many thousands of years has the major religion on planet Earth been blame? If you look from the Western scriptures point of view, ostensibly a history book that goes back several thousand years, you listen to the creation story, and there's the hero of the story, Adamos, red clay, Adam. And Adam gets himself into a jam. And then Adam explains who the problem is. And who is it? God, that woman you gave me. So now Adam's got not only the woman to blame, but God to blame. That's when the religion of blame started. There are a lot of people in the so-called Christian world that are there's this one world universal religion that's coming. It's been here from the beginning, and most people are members of it. Almost everybody in the world is a member of it. Blame, which means the energetic patterns in me that I'm in denial about, that I don't want to own, I use to build my brain's image of everybody else, and they show up in my mind with my problem attached, and I really do believe it's their problem because my brain shows me in great detail, and it allows me to forget that I'm the one who's feeling it, and you can't feel anybody else's.
But I'm still blaming if I'm putting in that trigger section that the problem is this memory or perception that I have in my mind. I'm still blaming something, right?
Well, my take would be, for me, as I hear you explaining what your thought is that it's a big step closer to being able to own it. It's like a bridge to owning it and taking total responsibility. If I can move from, sort of like, I'm blaming that person out there to, I'm blaming this image in my mind, you're a big step closer to being totally, completely responsible and moving into a space where it's easier and easier and easier to collapse the lie. The way that we hide truth from ourselves is we hallucinate a world that's a lie, like you made me mad, and I fill this 9-bit space in my mind with the reality you made me mad. It's a lie, but I call that lie truth. Now, when I call a lie truth in my mind, I block the ability of my mind to ever show me the truth. And most of humanity lives in the world of blockage of truth.
Because you're saying I already know the truth.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, underneath it all is the truth. Yes.
So because I don't have, I do blame other people, but a lot of times the blame is, it's like mixed. Like I'll blame someone else and I'll blame my mind at the same time, but it's all still blame rather than responsibility.
That's stepping forward.
Man,
so you're right
some
on
cool
track.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's so, ultimately, when you get to the principles of it, there's a great line in the Course in Miracles that says, it is so simple, it cannot but fail to be completely understood. Rejected, yes, but not ambiguous. It's just so simple and straightforward. But when the heavy-duty emotions come in, unconsciousness ensues, and the conscious awareness that a moment ago was so clear is obliterated. And that's where the next worksheet comes in, to literally weaken the energetic patterns of the mind that can obliterate truth. And as you weaken it, you strengthen in conscious awareness and the ability to perceive truth.
Awesome.
It is awesome. Delighted it's fitting and making sense for you.
Yeah, it doesn't always feel
I'll be excited to see. Yeah, I'll be excited to see how it all fits in the new training programs that you're getting ready to go into. It'll be pretty cool to see how that all comes up. I know when Jeanie went to school and got her master's degree, or her BA, she was very engaged in this work, and she brought it to a lot of the teachers. I mean, she was doing as much teaching of the teachers as they were of her. It was pretty cool to watch, and actually the university she went to has in their catalog now, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? 101, Healing Through Relationships, 102, Communication. Did you hear what? They've got all those courses in there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so I'm going to be moving in February or March, and it'll be, I'll be working at a practice, but it'll be closely supervised by a guy that will be training me into a more in-depth psychotherapy kind of thing. And actually where I'm at now, I'm having some drama and conflict with the agency here. So that's brought up a whole different series of worksheets, and I don't know if I'll comment on that today because it's just a whole other topic.
More opportunities to learn forgiveness. How cool is that?
It's just like it's everywhere.
And in your new training program, it'll be interesting to see who's training who. Because if you look pretty much around the world, virtually everybody, one of the biggest lies of the world is I have a set of eyes and I see what's going on out there in the world. And it's the biggest lie that's ever been told. No, I have pictures painted on the inside of my eyeballs that convince me that I'm seeing what's going on in the world. And I see reference points to what's going on in the world, but the fact is I'm seeing pictures painted on the inside of my eyeballs that are painted by the content of my own mind. And until I start peeling that paint off of the inside of my eyeballs, I believe what the world has taught me. And I don't know, I've been 50 years in this field. I don't know of anywhere in the culture that you'll find any other idea about forgiveness than, well, of course I'm going to let them off the hook for what's being painted on the inside of my eyeballs by my mind. What a ridiculous and ludicrous thing to do. I'm going to let them off the hook for what's going on inside of me. I don't know anywhere that you'll find the technology of, here's how you collapse the pictures on the inside of your eyeballs, process through, and get the truth. So it'll just be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
definitely.
Jeanie just told me that Terry's got his hand up. So shall we pull Terry into the conversation?
All right, we'll let him in.
All right, let's let him in. Hey, Terry.
Hey, fellas.
If you haven't heard the last 45 minutes or so, you need to go back and listen. Hey.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm catching the end of this. This was good stuff. I thought I'm going to have to go back and review this one. Yep. Get in on the ground floor, get some
Another transcript.
information. Yeah. And I did print the transcript and was going through it. Wow, there's so many pages for that one little dialogue. It's like, whoa, it's a lot. So this would be a good one too, Dan. You would probably appreciate. Maybe you and I can work together on figuring out how to create these documents from these shows that maybe it's a little quicker or simpler or easier, or I don't know.
It'll be really, you know what? Probably could train AI to do it. It'd be really cool when you get all 4,500 hours transcribed and edited, Terry. That'll be really awesome.
I've been working with the AI chat GPT.
Oh, really?
4.0. Oh gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a real demonstration of you get out of it what you put into it, just like the content of my mind. If I put
just like life.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like just like life. And so I have the way that I formulate and the information that I provide directly impacts what I get back out of it. So it's not like just an automatic genie in the bottle. Actually, it could be, see, Jeanie, no pun intended. It's like there could be this whole another tool of like, oh, type into the AI and it is going to give you feedback. And that's just a little thought that just hit my mind. It's like, oh, it could be a tool for helping me to see the content of my mind more clearly.
Yes.
Just like with this transcript here that Jeanie put together, it's like, wow, there's a lot of information in that, and there's a lot of things that come to surface as far as with my thought process and speaking and getting clearer on that. How you doing, Dan?
Doing good. I shared a lot of stuff, but I told them the story about when I went to the work event with 200 people and the only seat available was right next to Katie.
That rocked my world when you were telling me that story. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
The law of resonance times 20.
Yeah, it's just like that dynamic is not done. Even if we both say it's done, it's not done. So
sweet
with my work. Yeah.
I was sharing with Dan as we were talking about some of that one of the things that I've learned is that it's especially important for me to allow whatever gobbledygook my mind wants to throw up and resistance, because it's endless too, and just look at the results, the proof in the pudding. Every time that I do a worksheet, no matter how bad I think I've done on it or how improperly I may have filled it out, I always get a result that's amazing. And the thought that's coming to my mind is just, I've got this one fellow that does some work for me, and boy, he's like, he's one of my prime blessings. So every time I do a little bit of work with him, and he doesn't, of course, know I'm even doing it, I'll have to pause and do a few sheets, and our relationship changes.
every time.
Every time.
I got really excited about the stuff I caught on the show yesterday when I got on, where Terry was sharing with me before the show about the collapsing a wave function into a particle, from a wave to particle, and then the forgiveness process of releasing a particle back into a wave form so that it can be surrendered and kind of released.
That's it.
That really just made some stuff click for me. I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. We're opening up and dissipating, disease structure that we've built into our body through corrupt data. I mean, it's just awesome.
And the essence of the miracle, when you look at it from the point of view of what's called particle physics or quantum physics, is that when the energetic contribution that I make to this waveform out there that caused it to collapse, when I remove that, all of a sudden that which has collapsed or become manifest evaporates. It disappears. People call that a miracle. The fact that this physicist 2,000 years ago understood it and showed us how to do it means it's not miraculous. It's just the way it works. And, of course, we call a miracle something we don't know how to understand or explain, but it's all just straightforward physics.
I was thinking about and have been writing about some, and now this fits in too with collapsing particles, because I think as humans, fear can motivate us to, I want to understand things. I want to have a solid framework. I want to have a solid narrative, airtight, and therefore I collapse all this open space and joyous energy. I collapse it into different particles. I collapse it into definite truths in order to try to have a story and be right so that I can feel safe. But the reality is I'm just building structure that's going to entrap me over time. I'm not keeping myself safe. I'm building this, sort of prison that we can now collapse back into the wave and sort of aerate it and dissipate it.
You got it.
Does that make sense? Okay, cool.
That's it. That's the core of it.
Because I'm really interested in how the mind seems to crave beliefs and certainty, and I will forfeit the open, joyful world of energy that I can't define because I'm so desiring of a certainty that I'm going to build these narratives and collapse things into particles and make them definite certain.
Well, and so my offering would be that desire is a result of a thought disorder that I'm not safe and I can't trust the world. And that, again, usually goes back to a power person dynamic. When I forgive as to that, I then step back into a space where I trust that nothing can come out of this energy system toward me that does not match what I hold in me. And if it comes toward me, the instant it does, I'm going to take the practice skill that I have of forgiveness and remove it, and instantly that which is coming toward me is going to disappear.
So the only thing that I could be unsafe from would be the mind energy that I generate, in other words.
You got it. You got it. Again, go back, and there's a principle in the Course in Miracles. Actually, one of the earliest lessons in the Course in Miracles says, "In my defenselessness, my power and safety lie." The first act of war, I actually posted this on my Facebook page today, the first act of war is a defense.
Oh my God, so the only thing that's going to hurt me is the ways I try to defend myself. The only thing that's going to hurt me is the ways I try to defend myself.
You got it, because the defense, the defense itself is a call for attack.
And this is what people, it's funny, but it's also really sad. It's what people fight and die over is, I'm right. I know how things are. I know the truth. I'm right. You're wrong.
You got it.
And that's all defensive structures. I'm defending myself by believing that I know things that are unknowable. Because the universe is kind of unknowable, right? I mean, it's really, it's not to be crystallized into categories, but that's what we do with our mind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is cool.
That's it. Cleaning up the mind, cleaning up and recognizing that a lot of those sensations of fear are based in the past.
And that's still a part I get confused about, because I'm like, well, surely there was a reality there. Well, I'm using that wrong. I'm meaning actuality. Surely there was a dangerous actuality somewhere. So I don't know.
Well, surely there was, and it's maybe 1,000 generations old. And if I choose to access it in me and forgive it, then it disappears.
Okay. Something's coming up, but it may take me a while to comprehend.
Well, I'll just breathe with you then. Any closing thought for you, Terry? The show's going to kick us off any second.
I appreciate you guys more than you can imagine. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting for sure.
Yeah.
All right, take care, everybody. Have the best year yet of your eternal life. It's an awesome gift to give the world. And thanks, Dan. Blessings.
Dan does want to know when the next live event is.
Aha. Okay, we'll keep you posted.
All right.
All right.
All right,
Bye-bye,
blessings.
everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.